Hi, I'm Mona Khan. Being law students, me and my group members have been assigned to the task to talk and analyze a business corporation case which is between Hawkins and Clayton. Let me give you a rough idea and background about the case. This case actually rotates around the Mr. Testatrix, his solicitors, and his actual nominee, Mr. Hawkins. According to Mr. Hawkins, who is actually the plaintiff of this case, he wasn't being told about the death of Mr. Tetratrix and that he is the sole executor and beneficiary of Mr. Tetratrix. Apparently, this is the job of solicitors that they should tell Mr. Hawkins about his beneficiaries and the will of Mr. Testatrix, but they didn't. So Mr. Hawkins filed a petition in a court that lead him with the case that solicitors have done an act of negligence, according to him, and in a crossfire, solicitors filed another petition in their defense that they haven't done anything wrong. But after that, there was another serious issue that should be highlighted there, which is there was a hidden contract between Mr. Testatrix and solicitors that after his death, they are responsible of telling Mr. Hawkins about his will that he is the sole executor and the beneficiary of his house, but they apparently didn't.
Hi, my name is Bilal. As Monis explained previously, Mr. Hawkins, who took the action against solicitors in the same year. After taking an action, court rejected Mr. Hawkins with reason that it wasn't considerable. At that time, Mr. Hawkins realized that he has to come up with new team, new solicitors. Then he hired new solicitors with two reasons, which were negligence by the first solicitors and losses beared by the state. He filed the petition. He go to the court. Then court again rejected him with reasons that it was there is no duty of care owed by the solicitors between solicitors and plaintiff.
Hello, my name is Taha, and being a member of this group, I'll be continuing the issue that Bilal highlighted earlier. Previously, we have heard about the appeal that Mr. Hawkins filed in the court, and in that appeal, he stated two strong points. One of them was related with negligence, and the other one was duty of care. Even though these 2 points were good enough to be considered, but then the court rejected this appeal as well, and the court stated that there is no duty of care owed by the solicitors to the plaintiff. So even after his appeals got rejected one after another, he still didn't give up, and this time he decided to appear in the High Court. But before he appeared in the High Court and filed another appeal, he tried to come up with two strong points. The first one was related with duty of care, and the other one was breach of contract. So, in the duty of care, he mentioned that there was a duty of care owed by the solicitors to the plaintiff personally, and as well as in his representative capacity as well. So, he mentioned two different scenarios in the duty of care, and the other one was a breach of contract, that there was a breach of contract with the plaintiff, and as well as the main estate, which is testatrix in this case. So these points were pretty good enough, and the court finally accepted the appeal, and this is how the case got continued in the court. But soon after a few hearings, one of the panel judge he raised a very important question regarding actual intention. The actual intention which was missing in the contract, it was between the main estate, Testratrix, and the firm, solicitors. And the judge stated that there is no actual intention for locating or finding the main beneficiary in this case. The firm, solicitors, should have tried to take best possible steps to locate the main beneficiary, who is Mr. Hawkins in this case, and this part was basically missing. So this was a turning point for the firm, which is solicitors, of course. So, as the case got continued, and just after quite a few hearings, Mr. Hawkins got a very first favor from the High Court, and this favor was related with the negligence. And this was the first time in the history that High Court tried to highlight the importance of the law of negligence, and finally they allowed Mr. Hawkins to recover the losses caused by the negligence, which was mainly done by the solicitors in this case. So it was not only the favor, but it was a very first time in the history that High Court has taken this step for facilitating the plaintiff. So this was the very first favor he got from the High Court just after struggling with his appeals initially.
Hi, Mars here. My student ID is VSS31056. As being a member of a group, I would like to sum up the case with the decision taken by the High Court of Australia. As we all know, the case is between Mr. Hawkins and Clayton. On 8th of April 1988, the High Court of Australia comes up with the final decision in which they accuse a firm of solicitor for being negligent and for not taking the reasonable steps to find out the executor after the death of their client, Mr. Testatrix. Furthermore, they were also liable to bear all the damages that has been occurred to the executor. This was the final decision which was taken by the High Court of Australia, which I mentioned before as well. In the end, thank you very much for giving us a chance to express our views on the case. Thank you.